$194 billion in debt, 3 colossal projects, and Australia's richest state gambling its future. The Metro Tunnel just opened November 30th, 2025. Passengers are riding through Melbourne's newest underground marvel. But while commuters celebrate, Victoria is hitting record debt levels that would make most countries nervous. 3 megaprojects are reshaping this city. One delivered on time and budget. One became a nightmare of delays and cost blowouts. And one threatens to bankrupt the entire state. By 2029, Victoria's debt will reach $194 billion. The interest payments alone could fund the entire suburban rail loop. This is engineering ambition, gambling a state's future. Let's find out how we got here. The Metro Tunnel is everything a megaproject should be. 9 kilometers of twin tunnels carved beneath Melbourne's beating heart. 5 underground stations that feel more like cathedrals than subway stops. Construction began in 2018 with tunnel boring machines named Joan and Meg. These mechanical beasts weighed 4,000 tons each and stretched 130 meters from nose to tail. They chewed through rock and clay 25 meters below the surface, advancing 15 meters per day through some of Melbourne's most challenging geology. The underground obstacle course was mind-bending. Water mains, gas pipes, electrical cables, and century-old sewers all had to be mapped and protected. Some infrastructure dated back to the 1800s, with no accurate records of exact locations. Ground-penetrating radar and careful excavation revealed surprises at every turn. The engineering was surgical. At State Library Station, workers excavated a cavern 240 meters long and 20 meters wide, directly beneath one of Melbourne's most treasured buildings. The platforms stretch 18 meters across, some of the widest metro platforms on Earth. Every cubic meter of soil removal required precision monitoring to prevent any settlement damage to the heritage structure above. But the real achievement was staying on schedule and budget. The tunnel opened November 30th, 2025, exactly as planned. Full passenger service began February 1st, 2026. The final cost, $15 billion, right on target. This is what victory looks like in megaproject terms. The Metro Tunnel adds 1,000 weekly train services to Melbourne's network. It's the first major rail reconfiguration in decades, connecting the Cranbourne and Pakenham lines to the Sunbury line for the first time. Passengers who once faced 90-minute commutes now reach the city in 45 minutes. The tunnel handles 200,000 passengers daily, taking pressure off the overcrowded city loop. The success wasn't accidental. The Victorian government learned from Sydney's costly metro mistakes. They locked in contracts early, managed soil conditions carefully, and avoided the scope creep that kills budgets. The Metro Tunnel proved that megaprojects could succeed with proper planning, realistic budgeting, and disciplined execution. It set a standard that would make the failures of its siblings even more painful to witness. Yet this triumph would soon be overshadowed by its troubled siblings. The Westgate Tunnel was supposed to be simple, a $5.5 billion solution to Melbourne's western traffic nightmare, ready by September 2022. Instead, it became a masterclass in how megaprojects spiral out of control. The concept seemed straightforward. Dig 4-kilometer twin tunnels under Yarraville, build elevated tollways, and give western suburbs a direct route to the city. No more crawling across the aging Westgate Bridge in peak hour traffic. Construction began in 2018 with confidence and fanfare. Then reality hit. The soil was contaminated. Decades of industrial activity had poisoned the earth with chemicals that couldn't simply be dumped in regular landfills. Every cubic meter needed special treatment, special transport, special disposal sites. The budget exploded. $5.5 billion became 7, then 9, then nearly $12 billion. More than double the original promise. The timeline collapsed. September 2022 became 23, then 24, then maybe by the end of 25. 3 years behind schedule and counting. But the government pressed on. Too much money was already in the ground. Too many political promises were at stake. The tunnels themselves are impressive. Boring machines carved through challenging geology while traffic flowed overhead. The elevated sections soar 40 meters above residential streets, requiring precision engineering to minimize noise and visual impact. On November 16, 2025, over 50,000 people walked through the completed tunnels on Discovery Day. Families strolled where cars would soon speed. Children ran through spaces that would be off-limits forever once traffic began. The Westgate Tunnel became a warning. It showed how quickly a straightforward project could become a financial disaster. The contaminated soil crisis alone added $4 billion to the budget. Yet even this nightmare pales beside the monster still under construction. The Suburban rail loop makes the Westgate Tunnel look like pocket change. It's a 90-kilometer orbital railway that would circle Melbourne's suburbs, connecting every major train line without touching the city centre. Think of it as Melbourne's version of London's Circle Line, but carved entirely through rock and clay. The original pitch in 2018 was seductive. $34.5 billion for the complete loop. 3 phases over decades. A transformational project that would reshape how 5 million people move around Australia's second-largest city. The reality is far more expensive. Phase 1 alone, covering just the eastern section from Cheltenham to Box Hill, now costs over $95 billion. That's more than double the original estimate for the entire loop. We're talking about 26 kilometers of fully tunneled metro corridor that will take 13 years to complete. Construction is already underway. Tunnel boring machines are arriving in early 2026, ready to chew through Melbourne's eastern suburbs. 6 underground stations will rise from the earth like concrete monuments to ambition. The engineering challenges are immense. The tunnels must pass beneath existing rail lines, highways, and thousands of homes. Each station requires massive excavations in densely populated areas. The Monash station alone sits beneath one of Australia's busiest university campuses. But the real challenge isn't engineering, it's political survival. Opposition leader Brad Batten has promised to cancel the project if elected in 2026, declaring, "We cannot afford this white elephant," at every press conference. The Liberal Party sees the Suburban rail loop as their path back to power. Yet cancellation might be impossible, with contracts worth billions already signed and tunnel boring machines costing hundreds of millions. The compensation payments alone could reach $20 billion. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese signals more federal funding is coming, despite already pledging $9 billion. The Commonwealth knows Victoria's collapse would ripple across the national economy. The project has created its own momentum. Too many jobs depend on it. Too many suppliers are locked in. Too many political careers are staked on its success. Construction workers speak of generational employment. Entire families plan their futures around Suburban rail loop contracts. Engineering firms have hired thousands specifically for this project. The tunnels will eventually carry 400,000 passengers daily. Travel time from Monash University to Melbourne Airport will drop from 90 minutes to 45 minutes. The economic benefits, proponents argue, will justify every dollar. But the costs keep climbing. Inflation hits megaprojects harder than household budgets. Steel prices surge, concrete costs double. Skilled labor becomes scarce as every state pursues infrastructure spending. The Suburban rail loop has become too big to cancel and too expensive to complete. It's the ultimate megaproject trap, driving Victoria toward a fiscal cliff with no easy escape. The Auditor General's warning is stark. Victoria's debt trajectory is not financially sustainable. By 2029, the state will owe $194 billion. Interest payments have become the fastest-growing expense in the budget, consuming $36 billion over 4 years. That's enough money to build the entire metro tunnel twice over. The debt spiral threatens more than just Victoria's budget. If Australia's economic powerhouse stumbles under this burden, the shockwaves will ripple across the national economy. Victoria generates 25% of Australia's GDP. Its collapse would drag down the entire federation. The irony is crushing. The metro tunnel success is overshadowed by the financial crisis created by its siblings. One triumph, one disaster, one monster, and together they're breaking Australia's richest state. What do you think? Are these mega projects worth the massive debt they're creating? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories about the world's most ambitious engineering gambles.